Greetings and salutations. My name is Skipper the 14th, and this is my fourth attempt recording this. I am not kidding. So, reason this video's out very late compared to previous, uh, gaps between games is because this particular series, Civilization 6 as Rome, has been plagued with technical issues this entire time. Um, so my first attempt actually went fine. I recorded, I think, like one or two videos. Actually, no, I think it was just the one, because when I went to record the second video, um, I like watched over the first video again, and I wasn't happy with how it came out. I spent like a long time like front loading the episode with details on how this game was different from the previous entries, and I think I spent like 17 turns actually just playing the game. Um, Before calling the episode, so I wanted to do it over again. So I did it over again. I re-recorded, that episode. I ended up recording the whole full series. Then when I went to go to edit it, I realized that OBS was not using my microphone, and so I had about 5 hours of footage that was just gameplay audio and no commentary whatsoever. And I could have just added some commentary in post, but I figured it would just be easier to just re-record the whole thing, because it wasn't like one episode lost audio and like the rest of it was fine. It was like the whole thing had no commentary whatsoever, so I figured it'd be easier to just start all over. So third attempt, I start all over. Um, Play through from the beginning. I make sure OBS is using my actual microphone instead of trying to use some other device or whatever. Um, but what I did realize was that my noise filter settings were off. So it was recording my voice, but only when I was like talking louder than I usually do, or like when I was only talking above a certain volume. Otherwise, it would like cut off. So it was arguably worse than the second attempt because there was still commentary, but it was all like choppy and completely unusable. So I had to scrap that, and it's been a while since then that I've been like actually had the opportunity to record again. So here we go with the fourth attempt. Hopefully this one actually sticks. Fourth attempt at recording Civ 6 Test of Time as Rome. So, uh, with all that out of the way, let's get into it. Um, Now, one thing to note before we dive right into the game is that Civilizations, sort of like in a split between how it works in Civ 5 and how it works in Civ 4. Civilizations are split between their leader and their civ, so a civ can have more than one leader, and the different leaders have their own abilities. Like in Civ 4, civs have different leaders, and the different leaders work differently. But like in Civ 5, the leaders and Civ abilities are all unique rather than being like a combo of pre-existing traits like they are in 4. The difference between the leader system here and in 4 is that there's two differences. One is that there's no setting where you can mix and match leaders with civs like you can in Civ 4. Like you can't have Hannibal leading China in Civ 6 like you can in Civ 4. And not just because Hannibal's not in this game. Dido is, but Hannibal is not. Well, he's not a leader. He's a great general. But anyway, actually, no, that's Hamilcar. That's different than Hannibal. That was Hannibal's father. Anyway, my point is you can't assign a leader to a civ they were not. They did not lead in history. And the second thing is that unlike in Civ 4, a leader can lead multiple different civilizations. So you can see here I have Julius Caesar, but down here we have Kublai Khan of China and Kublai Khan of Mongolia. So in this instance, you can have a leader lead different civilizations, but you can't swap Kublai Khan over to like the Zulu, you know. So leaders can lead multiple different civilizations. Um, but only if they did so historically. And I think there's only like two leaders in this game where that's a thing, like Eleanor of Aquitaine and Kublai Khan. Um, I think they're the only two leaders that have that lead two different civilizations outside of mods, anyway. So for Rome's leaders, we have two this game. We have Julius Caesar, and we have, where is he, Trajan. Um, the difference is obviously in their leader abilities. Either way, we get all the unique Rome stuff. We get Rome's ability. All roads lead to Rome. Um, all cities you found or conquer start with a trading post. If in trade range your capital, they also start with a road to it. Your trade routes earn +1 gold for passing through trading posts in other cities. So, I think it's very self-explanatory. A trading post is kind of like an invisible little building that gets established in a city when a trade route is finished to that city. So if you send a trade route from your capital to a city-state, then once the trade route has like run its course and got through however many turns it takes to go through that, then a trading post will be built in that city-state and in your capital. Assuming that's like the first time a trade route has been completed between those two cities. Can't have more than one trading post in each, in any one city. As Rome, you get a free trading post in every one of your own cities. So you don't get them for free in other cities. You still have to establish the trade route there. Also, if a city is within trade route range of your capital, meaning it's close enough that you could send a trader from your capital to that city, then it will automatically get a road built towards your capital. Roads work a bit differently in Civ 6. They are purely for movement purposes. They don't connect resources like in 3 and 4, and they don't give bonuses of any kind to cities connected between them, like they do in Civ 5. They're just for movement purposes. They just help units move faster. And your trade routes earn +1 gold for passing through trading posts in your own city. So when a trade route you establish passes through one of your own cities that has a trading post in it, it gets +1 gold. And I did test this in previous recording attempts. That counts for both international and domestic trade routes. So if like you're sending a trade route from Rome through 5 other cities to like a city that's on the edge of your empire, that will get 5 gold because it passes through 5 of your own trading posts. Normally, what trading posts do is they act as sort of like little fielding stops for traders. Traders have a limited range, like there's a limited distance they can go from the city they're starting in to establish a trade route. But if it can pass through a city that has a trading post, it gets a boost to its range. So like it can like refuel, so to speak, and keep going for a certain amount longer. Like it'll extend the range, the total range of the trade route. I don't know the exact math behind it. I don't know if it's like it like resets to its like base range, or if it like just gets like a flat like tile like flat range bonus, or whatever. So yeah, I don't know like exactly how far like how much longer the trade route range will go through trading posts, but uh the you get a range bonus from trading posts. I think you also get a gold bonus if you pass through. That might only be through certain abilities that you get bonuses for passing through your own trading posts. And other civs, primarily Mongolia, has also has abilities related to trading posts, but Kublai Khan also has one center trading post as well. But nevertheless, that is Rome's ability. Just focused on having a lot of cities and sending trade routes. Their unique unit is the Legion. Much like in all previous iterations, it's a swordsman replacement, but stronger. The swordsman in this game has a base combat strength of 36. The Legion has a base combat strength of 40. Combat math works a little bit differently actually very differently in Civ 6 than it does in previous iterations. Instead of being like a instead of being based on like the proportional difference between the combat strength, it's just based on the flat difference. So like a unit that's 20 strength fighting a unit that's 10 strength will have the same bonus as a 100 strength unit attacking a 90 strength unit. Like it's just based on the flat number difference rather than the proportional difference. How like what proportion the combat strengths are. Um, Legion also has a interesting ability, kind of reminiscent of its Civ 5 ability, where it can build a Roman fort. Now, the Roman fort in and of itself is pretty mediocre. You can really just eschew it altogether. You can really forget it exists. The real treat with that, though, is that because it can build a fort, it has a build charge. Now, again, builders work differently in this game. In fact, they're not. The name should tip you off. They're called builders now instead of workers. Um, the way it works now is that builders finish improvements instantly. So instead of taking a certain amount of turns to build a farm or build a mine or chop down a forest, they do it instantly. They do it that turn. But they have a limited number of charges. So starting off, a builder has 3 charges, which means they can do 3 things. Like it can build 3 improvements or chop down 3 forests or 3 jungles or 3, like it can do 3 things before it's gone. And then you have to build another one. The legions, because they can build a Roman fort, they are given a build charge in order to do that. Now, the only improvement they can build is a Roman fort, but since they have that build charge, they can also chop down forests or repair improvements. And that leads itself to a very fun strategy where you found a city with a crap ton of forests, take the Agogi social policy and the Governor Magnus. We'll get to that in the game. And then create a legion, move that legion onto a forest, chop down the forest, and all that production, like with the production bonus towards, with those production bonuses I mentioned earlier, you can like instantly create another legion, which you can then move on to another forest tile, and then chop down. And, like you can use one legion to create like a dozen. In the time it would like normally take you to make like 2 or 3 if you just built them without any or anything like that. I did that. Used that strategy to start a domination game. In my previous 2 attempts, I employed that strategy to great effect. But since I did that twice in a row, and domination in Civ 6 is not my preferred playstyle. I usually like to just blob out in SimCity. I may occasionally indulge in some warfare, especially if I'm playing like a very militaristic focused Civ, but since I've already done this twice, and both those times I did it, it was very tedious, and I lost. Well, I didn't lose the recording, but the recordings were unusable. I'm gonna go for a different victory condition this game. I'm gonna aim for a scientific victory, and I know we did that already in Civ 4, but I need to do something else other than you know swarm or try to take over the entire map again. I may take out a neighbor. I may use the strategy to build up a bunch of legions, take out whoever's next to me, and then chill out from there. Not not take it any further. But I'm not going to go for a domination victory because domination victories can be very tedious. There's a lot of unit micro. You also have to be mindful of your opponent's tech levels. Make sure that your units are actually up to snuff to be able to take their cities and defeat their armies. So, yeah. And finally, Rome's last unique thing is the bath. It's a district. Districts are a new mechanic in Civ 6. And the bath replaces the aqueduct, which is a district that gives extra housing, which is another new mechanic in Civ 6. The bath is pretty good because it's, for one thing, all unique districts are half the cost of what the district they replace is. And the aqueduct is already the cheapest district in the game. So the bath, well, the aqueduct is the cheapest generic building district in the game. So the bath is the cheapest district, full stop, in the game. So you already get the cheapest districts in the game. Um, and aqueducts, well, they're not like necessary by any means. You could really go an entire game without building a single aqueduct to be fine. Um, well, at least for like their intended purpose, their original purpose of providing housing. They're not strictly necessary unless you're in a map that does not have a lot of fresh water. They are helpful later on in the game, but we'll get to that when we get to that. The bath is good because no matter what, um, you always get at least +4 housing and +1 amenity from it. Amenities are basically happiness in this game. They function more or less identically. Um, well, it's the same conceit. It works a little bit differently, but it's the same idea. It's how happy your citizens are. Um, the two leader abilities we have are Trajan's. Trajan's column. All cities start with additional city center building. Starts with the monument building in the ancient era. What I believe that parentheses means is that if you start the game in the ancient era, then you get a free monument building. But if you start in like a later era, you get a different building for free. Um, it's it's very nice. You get some extra free culture at the beginning of the game. You get some that's extra production. You don't have to sink into building all those monuments. And I know I in particular can be pretty bad about building on the city center building, especially like later on in the game with cities I've founded on like turn 120. I can get pretty bad at like I like very often forget to build the city center buildings. I usually focus on like districts I need or something. Um, but the other leader is Julius Caesar. His ability Weni Weedy Wiki, as following the classical Latin pronunciation. You get 200 gold when you conquer a city for the first time, or 100 gold when you earn gold from a barbarian outpost. Gold amount granted for both becomes 500 gold after you research steel. Steel is very late in the game. I think it's a modern era tech. Um, Modern or even atomic era. It's very late in the game, so this falls off pretty quickly. Then it kind of picks back up, but kind of like slowly starts falling off again. So you have to be very active with this one. Trajan's is very passive. The only thing you have to do is settle a city, and his ability's already working. And it's available from turn 1, or whenever you found your capital. Whereas Julius Caesar, you have to actively pursue it. You have to be conquering cities. You have to be fighting barbarians, and all that stuff. So since I'm not going to focus on conquest this game, and since this is Trajan's first appearance as a leader in the Civilization 6 franchise, as far as I know, we are going to be playing as him. And I'm also going to be switching the color to the red and gold, because I just like that better than purple and gold. I'm also going to modify a few... I do have a few mods installed. Not very many that will change gameplay, at least for now. I want to keep this close to vanilla, but with a few like quality of life mods that I think just help help make the experience more enjoyable. Playing on quick speed. We'll be playing on a 7 Seas map because that's my favorite map script. I've been playing with any game modes. Also, where is... I gotta turn limit off. It's almost never actually a factor when I play it, but I just like turning it off. I like not having the turn limit. I'm gonna turn resources up to abundant. And I'm going to go into the leader pool here, and disable Coupe because he is an absolute pain. Also going to disable, where is he, Hammurabi, because he's a nightmare as an AI. And I think that's all I'm going to do for now. Normally, when I play casually, I would. There are a couple of other leaders I would disable, but I think those two are like the only ones. Um, again, I'm gonna do for now. Like those are the only two like I absolutely despise having as opponents in the game. So, with all that said, I think all the other settings are as I want to have them. So let us proceed.
From the first stirrings of life beneath water, to the great beasts of the Stone Age, to man taking his first upright steps, you have come far. Now begins your greatest quest, from this early cradle of civilization on towards the stars. Cast your net wide, O Trajan, Emperor of mighty Rome. Your legions stand at the ready to march out and establish the largest empire the world has ever seen. If you can truly get all roads to lead to Rome, yours will be an empire of great riches and luxuries. Surely then our citizens will proclaim you as their best ruler, the Optimus Princeps.
That was the lovely voice of Sean Bean you just heard, the narrator for this game, and also famous for playing was his name, Boromir, in the Peter Jackson Lord of the Rings movies. Also Martin Septim in Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion, and Eddard Stark, one of the Starks in the Game of Thrones TV show. I didn't watch that one, so he's the narrator for this game. Um, and yeah, I think this is a pretty decent start. But uh, a really nice mix of food and production. It looks like we've got a natural wonder over here, judging by the tile yields. So I think I'm just gonna settle it in place. Also, I don't want to spend like half an hour re-rolling starts to find the perfect one. Um, Settling on a Plains Hill is very nice because it gives you 2 food and 2 production in your capital. It's the only way to do that, if I recall correctly. We want to research first. We have some stone, so mining would be good, but we also have 2 farmable resources and a plantation resource, so pottery would be good, and we also have a deer, so animal husbandry would be good. I think go for mining. No, I will go for pottery. Build scouts and then a builder. I usually do scout monument builder or scout builder monument. That's my first like construction queue, but since we got a free monument by being Rome, don't have to worry about that. I believe this here is the monument. You can see it in the actual city graphics. Nice. Got a city state down here, a COD. Yeah, melee and anti-cavalry units do full damage to city walls. That's very helpful if you're going to war. So, like I said, I might take out a neighbor, but I'm definitely not going for a domination victory because I've done it twice already, and it can be very tedious. And I need to finish this man. All right, with that extra culture from the free monument, we got our first civic unlocked, and now we can slot in some social policies. The new government system, replacing the social policies from Civ 5 and the governments from 4 and 3. Like a fusion of both. Culture kind of works like science, where you use it to unlock the civics, basically technologies, but unlocked with culture instead of science. And as you unlock them, you get higher tier governments as well as social policy slots to sit into that government. These function like the social policies from Civ 5, where they're like bonuses towards your empire that you can up over the course of the game. But unlike in Civ 5, they are movable. Like if you pick one up, then you don't need it, you can get rid of it, swap it for something else you do need. and they also go obsolete. So like this one will eventually get replaced by one that's like a better version of it, or a more relevant version of it at least. Um, as for the policies, I took survey, which will give our scouts extra experience, and also because I turned barbarians off because I hate dealing with them in this game. So discipline won't do anything, and I also picked God King because I want to get a pantheon. See what this.
Yosemite Valley to me is always a sunrise, a glitter of green and golden wonder in a vast edifice of stone and space.
Yosemite. Very nice. Since we uncovered Yosemite, we got a Eureka. Another new system here in Civ 6. Eurekas and inspirations are sort of like little side quests you can do in this game to give a boost, or rather a discount towards the cost of a civic or a technology. Not every technology in Civic has a corresponding Eureka or inspiration. Eurekas are for technologies, inspirations are for civics. Just in case you get confused on which one is which. Um, you can see here pottery doesn't have any text or any arrows or anything like that, but you can see craftsmanship does. And since we discovered a natural wonder, we got the boost towards astrology. And you can see sailing here. These texts both cost 33 science, but since we got the Eureka for astrology, it would take us 7 turns to research astrology, but it would take us 11 turns to research sailing because we do not have the Eureka for sailing. So, and of course, fulfilling the actual requirements here is not the only way to get Eureka's inspirations. There are various other ways you can get them for free. It's just that like you can be sure, like when you do this, you can be sure you're getting the inspirational Eureka for you know, what you want to boost. Whereas all the other most of the other methods will be random. Like you can see here, 2 random technologies. We got one for sailing, we got one for masonry. So you know, we just got those 2 randomly. You can get them from the goody huts. Some wonders will give you them for free. Some scientists will give you them for free. Some civ abilities will give you them for free. So on and so forth. So there's more than one way to boost a development. That's what you want to call civics and technologies collectively. That's a very nice city-state, because if we are suzerain of them, we can... all of our cities will get housing as if they were next to fresh water, even if they're not. Another... well, less a new mechanic and more a variation on an old mechanic. When you are suzerain of a city-state, not ally, suzerain, pretty much the same thing, just a different name, you actually get a unique bonus unique to that city-state, in addition to the bonuses you get from whatever type it is. So you can see here Mohenjo-Daro is a cultural city-state, so it will give us extra culture in certain buildings, but if we are suzerain of it, all of our cities will have full housing from water as if they were next to fresh water. So the housing system is it's relatively unique to Civ 6. Like the closest analogy I can think of is the health system from Civ 4, where it's a soft cap to your city's growth. Whereas in Civ 4, both health and happiness were caps to your growth, and happiness was actually the bigger one. Civ 6 just has health. Kind of like a similar has housing, excuse me. They're kind of similar concepts. Things that will like improve the health of your citizens will improve the housing of the city. Not just like having more space for people to live in. And simply the way it works is that if you're every citizen occupies 1 unit of housing, and as long as you have at least 1 unit of housing free in your city, it might be you might need like might need more than 1, then your city will grow at the normal rate. At 1 or 0.5, because you can see we have 6.5 housing here. At 1 or less, you'll get a slowed. Your city's growth will slow down dramatically, and if it goes over the cap, if your population goes over the cap by a certain amount, I think it's like 2 or 3, then your city will stop growing entirely, no matter how much food it has. Um, so if you want your city to keep growing, you have to increase your housing. Um, so yeah, and you get housing, like I said, through various means. You settle a city next to fresh water, a lake, i.e., a lake, a river, or an oasis, or certain natural wonders. You'll get start off with 5 housing. We get an extra 1 housing in our capital from the palace. Um, if you settle on the coast, like next to salt water, you'll start off with 3 housing. And if your city, the city center tile is next to neither of those, then you start off with 1 housing. If we are Susan River Mohenjo-Daro, then we will always get the +5 housing no matter where we settle our cities, as long as we are suzerain of them. And the aqueduct is used to give full housing from fresh water to cities that wouldn't normally get it. So we'll get to that when we unlock it in the tech tree. But just know that's what it's for, and that's what the Bath, our unique district, is for. And we already have enough envoys to become suzerain of Mohenjo-Daro. The other change to the city-state system, blah, 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 very complicated series of words in this game, is that instead of the kind of like sliding scale of influence in Civ 5, where it like grows and decays over time, and you like spend gold to complete quests to gain more influence, in Civ 6 it's a very granular system of envoys. You earn envoys over time. You can get them for free from civics or wonders or civic abilities or goody huts or whatever, but you also earn them over time by accruing influence points. The amount of influence you get is almost entirely from your government, but there are a few other ways to increase that as well. But you send envoys to city states, and based on how many envoys you have with that city state, you get more or less bonuses. So we have 1 envoy here in Akkad, so we just get this first tier bonus. We have 3 envoys here in Mohenjo-Daro, so we get the first and second tier bonus. Um, and in order to be suzerain of them and get both their unique ability, their like little unique bonus they can give you, and access to their luxury and strategic resources, you have to have at least 3 envoys and have more envoys there than anyone else does. So again, similar, but like instead of that like sliding scale of like growing and shrinking influence, it's the very granular kind of like binary yes or no envoys system.
Deserves more.
At least that's how I think of it. We have mining. I think I'm going to go for irrigation so we can pick up. We have a lot of resources around here that are improved by plantation, so it'll behoove us to pick up that technology too. It looks like this is Zulu here, judging by colors. Let us see. Yep. Shaka Zulu. It's our first neighbor. Luckily for us, there is a lot of mountains and hills and other rough terrain separating us from him. So if he decides to mess around, then he will find out, as they say.
That's the positive aspect.
There goes both craftsmanship and foreign trade. Looks like we got early empire from a good free builder. Excellent. Oh, I don't really have anything to do with them. Exploring for now. Still working on a settler because, kind of like in Civ 3, you want to expand quickly. Actually, more like Civ 4, where you want to expand a bit, and you want to like cool down, let your economy recover, then start expanding again. Except in this game, it's more about like making sure your cities have enough amenities, rather than like making sure you can afford the maintenance. Civ 4 is the only game where cities like have a passive maintenance cost, like in and of themselves, um, beyond just the buildings that are in it. Um, good on housing in this city. So, I guess we could stand to grow a little faster. So build a granary, then I'll build another settler. Want to keep expanding. Um, lots of
Welcome to the United
there's
States of
a
America.
Roosevelt.
If you conduct yourself well, you can consider us friends.
I skipped Shock, but not his. My bad. Yeah, we've got reasonable amount of land to expand into without having to fight anyone. Um, and looks like we might not actually be fighting anyone because our closest neighbor is Shaka, who's not gonna just roll over and take it, and also past all these tight mountain passes and hills and rainforests and rivers and such. The other guy is Teddy Roosevelt, who there's some pretty open terrain on our way to him, but he gets a lot of like combat bonuses in his turf, so he's tough to invade usually. We have irrigation. Let's go animal husbandry, see if we have any horses around. Nothing else, will be good to trade to the AIs.
Back over the...
Let's see. Yes. You. No. All right. Okay, now we have a governor. These are also kind of like the social policies in Civ 5, a little bit, kinda, in that they're like permanent modifiers, but instead of applying to your whole Civ, they apply to what only to the city that they're stationed in. I think for our first, I'm just gonna go with Pingala, however you say it. Very good first pick because he gives you extra science and culture, and more we can get at that early on. As you can see, Arpanum here, since it's within trading range of our capital, there is now a road automatically built between the two cities. I think I'll send this build there to improve. You, I think I'll buy you a trade of gold. The trader back to Rome to get some production. Okay, so you can see here, normally we would only be getting one food and one production from sending a trade route to Rome, but because we get +1 gold for every trading post of our own, our trade route passes through, we get +1 gold, and you can also see that trade routes to either Mohenjo-daro or Zulu's capital Ulundi are passing through Rome. They get 4 gold, but the ones to Akkad and Hansa, since they don't pass through Rome, they only get 3 gold. So they'll also give us the Eureka for currency. Now, for our Pantheon, we could do Desert Folklore because we don't necessarily have a lot of desert, but we have a non-zero amount of desert in our immediate vicinity. We also have a non-zero amount of rainforest, around which we could go Sacred Path. But Sacred Path might be good because I'm mostly debating between Sacred Path and Lady of the Reeds and Marshes. One of the mods I have installed is Pokeel's Better Pantheons. It changes how most of the Pantheons work so that the AI will actually pick ones that behoove it instead of just picking random ones. Basically, like, the AI looks at what is in its territory and will judge like what Pantheon to pick based on what's there. And the way most Pantheons work in the unmodded game is that they boost improvements. They boost tile improvements. Like God of the Sea here would give +1 production from fishing boats. But since the AI usually gets Pantheons before it has built up a lot of fishing boats, it's not going to see all of its... It doesn't like see any like the potential fishing boats it could build, and think, oh, I should get this Pantheon because I'll have a lot of fishing boats to get a lot of benefit from it. It sees, oh, I don't have any fishing boats, therefore this Pantheon is worthless to me. So this changes that, so it's a little smarter at picking Pantheons. Um, and it also buffs some Pantheons, like Lady of the Reeds and Marshes. In the base game, it's gives +2 production to marshes, oases, and desert floodplains, but in this mod it gives it to all floodplains, um, because grasslands and plains can also flood in Civ 6 now. So that would be good. That would definitely help Arpanum. It would help. There's some floodplains over here, some down here, over here, um, and well, there are some over here, but that's a bit close to Zulu. Um, but see, it's handy feature. See how many rainforest. It's not an unsubstantial amount of rainforests, but aren't necessarily a lot of spots where we could put a holy site that would be next to a lot of them. Like there's one here that would be good. One here would be decent here. There are a few spots, but like very stringy patches of rainforest. And we would also have to build a holy site to that. Um, I think I'm gonna go with Lady Reeds and Marches, considering I'm not necessarily gonna focus on religion too terribly much this game. Oh, a Cree, pretty far away. Um, I would say once we're finished with that Grand Main Rome, we are going to the settler, and I forgot I had it queued up. Lauren, in the world around us. Excuse me, making get some information on where to settle potentially. Here, trade routes generate +1 gold for every 5 tiles they travel. Yeah, that would just barely not behoove us, but actually no, I think it would. Never mind. We did get like a little extra gold from. I could just check the trade route. Oh, yeah, it is. It does count. All right, that's good. It's only moving 4 tiles, but I guess it's like the total back and forth is 8 tiles, so that counts as more than 5 tiles. So we're done with animal husbandry. Any horses in our territory? I don't see any in the city. There's some way down here. I'm up there. Next, writing. Get some extra science. Bologna. Sure, maybe we'll. Also, I should mention, you might have been able to tell already, I have a mod that makes scouts better. Recon units in general better. Basically, it makes them, makes their promotion tree not complete dog water, and it also allows them to ignore all terrain costs, so they're actually good at exploring. Because the movement change, the movement rules for units has changed a little bit. You now have to have enough tiles, movement points left to move onto a tile. Unless you're like you haven't moved already. If you haven't moved yet at all, then you can move on to any passable tile next to you. Why don't we build a settler here too? We just keep cranking out. We just keep claiming territory. the Roman thing to do, after all. Let's send this guy here. Because campuses get a big adjacency bonus from these geothermal fissures here. Adjacency bonus is basically fissures will get bonus to their relevant yields if they're placed next to certain things. Like you can see here, this campus that I'm trying to place would get +3 from these 3 mountains. I think I'll just put it there. This amount of extra science we will get basically for free without having to build any buildings.
Position without a...
There's always like, whenever I explore in this game, there's always like one like front, one like patch near me that I always just kind of forget to, or like I send off my scouts in like certain directions. Get into certain parts of the map very close to me. Put him here on top of the fissure that also get a bonus science from the tile itself. Nope. You see, we're getting +4 science, 2 from each fissure. That will take that city quite a while to build, but thankfully with that Pantheon we picked up, we're getting 2 production from the Oasis. So we have at least something. And also improve this incense and make our cities a little bit less unhappy with this. Era is ending soon. I think once that rolls over, we will call the episode. Ooh, Auckland, that's a very good city-state.
Divide and rule. Divide.
Gonna go Classical Republic. For our first government, cities of the district gained +1 housing and +1 amenity. Very good for a, you know, more SimCity-ish, not killing everything that moves kind of playstyle. Helping colonization, get cheaper settlers. Urban planning, build everything in our cities faster. Go Diplomatic League. I think that's better than Charismatic Leader. And Revelation for... even though we don't necessarily have any holy sites yet. I would like to be able to get a religion. Not necessary, but it's can give us a lot of good bonuses. Oh, looks like someone took over Hansa. Yep. I hate that AI always picks Amani as its first governor and always slaps it in a city-state. They seemingly always pick one of like a city-state that you already have suzerain of to slap her in, because you can establish her in a city-state, and once she's established, she acts as 2 envoys, like 2 free envoys, in a city-state for as long as she's in there. So I have no proof that the AI always does that, but the AI always does that. You can't change my mind. You can't convince me that they don't, basically. Alright. I think we want to build a library. Then we'll build another campus. Another settler, excuse me. I can't build another campus in Rome. It already has one.
It is not that life...
Settler. Then this guy here to grab all these resources. Should also send one over here to grab that iron. Cool. Good. Not really no great campuses either. Wouldn't really be necessary. Another settler then. For districts right off the rip. Looks like
Je suis Catherine.
Catherine of France. Between the two of them, I hope Shaka wins because I personally quite dislike France. Because she always hates you, no matter what.
Each of us is carving us.
Unless you are very active with espionage. Oh, for crying out loud. Natural disaster pillaged our incense. A little bit of extra production there in Antium. Build that for the heat death of the universe. And there goes this idiot. That's something you have to keep in mind. Like in Civ 4, cities can flip if they're too close to another city's borders, but unlike in actually do that in 3 too, but unlike in 4 and 3, instead of being based on culture, it's based on population. And building one would take too long just to build a granary. Carpet would build one way faster. So once you're done with that settler, build another.
I shot an arrow.
After this settler in Rome, I should build the government plaza. Bia. The border that yes, right there. Thankfully, again, we've got natural defenses between her and ourselves. This is the new Golden Age mechanic in Civ 6. Golden Ages are a thing again, but they work differently in this game, like than they do in all the previous iterations. Golden Ages are per era, so once you earn a Golden Age, you have it for the entire era until next era. You earn a Golden Age by earning era score. Era score you earn by doing a variety of things. And if you have enough era score, you get a Golden Age. If you don't have enough for a Golden Age, you get a Normal Age. If you don't have enough for a Normal Age, you get a Dark Age. You get a Golden Age, then you can pick through various bonuses. We're going to pick Monumentality because it's just the best modifier in this game, even though we don't have any faith income yet. If you were in a Normal or Dark Age, those bonuses would instead get you more era score for the next era. Also, in a Dark Age, you get access to Dark Age policies, which you can put in your government that give big bonuses with big drawbacks. It's like a kind of like a little bit of a jump mechanic. You fall behind in era score. And since, like I said, since the era has rolled over and we are now in the classical era, I'm going to call this episode here. If you like the video, please leave a like, leave a comment on the video, and subscribe to the channel. Doing all those things tells the magical YouTube algorithm gods that you like my content and you want more people to see what I make. And the more people that see what I make, the closer I get to being able to do this full time. And as always, be good, stay safe, I'll see you all next time.